So we are taking a quick look at this variant version of the Transformers Legacy or Legacy Evolution Stunticon breakdown. Now, both these figures might seem exactly the same to some of you, but I guarantee you this variant is more than meets the eye. Now, if you look closely, they do share relatively the same buck or the same figure mold with a slight difference of the head sculpt. That is the first thing you will notice. And if you look closely at the paint apps and the color of the white plastic they used, this one is really, well, it's subtly different from this previous version of Breakdown. We'll get into the details a little later, but I think it's fair to say that the first version is cartoon accurate, how he appeared in the G1 cartoons, whereas this new version is the more toy accurate looking figure, particularly with that head sculpt. Now, if you need your memory refreshed, here is a look at the old G1 breakdown toy. And you can clearly see that the head sculpt of this new one sort of matches the old G1 toy because he's got this horned crest compared to the smoother forehead that the first version had. And also, you will notice that the original toy had a blue gun or a blue blaster, which is also reflected in this new version. You will also note that the blue parts are of the old toy matches somewhat the blue parts of this new version with the blue stripe right here to actually mimic that whole peg that when you combine that used to combine these Stunticons, that head would like fold down if you wanted him as an arm, but since he's a leg you can keep it up, but that's where the blue stripe comes from. And then you've got some of the paint apps right here to reflect some of the ones on his arms. And you will note also that on his feet, they're actually now blue. And they've painted it to sort of kind of match the old G1 toy. Whereas this version matches the cartoon model more. And you will see right here the cartoon render. The waist is not silver, it just matches with the thighs, and you get the blue paint matches that crest right there. And that head sculpt, you can see that he's got a smoother forehead versus the more horned forehead with the G1 toy. What's missing though is some blue paint apps on the feet to match the render of the cartoon. So apart from the obvious paint differences of the blaster, the blue stripe, the feet, and the obvious change in the head sculpt, they've also changed the white plastic that they use to mold the figure in. And it's probably best evident with the boomerang or the spoiler. And you can somewhat see it with these two figures. The original version looks more like the cartoon. They're using this bone white, really whipped cream type of consistency of white plastic, whereas this newer version they're using a an off-white color, cannoli cream, or just really an off-white sort of yellowing white color. And it's not yellowing, it's just the way the color choice that they used for the plastic to reflect the old G1 toy. If you remember, that G1 toy wasn't really, you know, bone white. It was really an off-white, yellowish cannoli cream type of white, and it's reflected here. And I think the camera is showing it a little bit. And you see this is a lighter white, more toothpaste white, and then this one's just really yellowish white. And the same thing with the blasters. They molded it in the same white plastic, just painted it differently. So I'm gonna give you a close-up look. You can see probably better the details. So it's the exact same mold, they just changed the head sculpt and they just repainted it. And I don't know if the color is coming across. Yeah, right there you can see that this is a yellowish type of white. You can see the paint tampoed right here and here, and the feet are molded in that same white, off-white plastic, but they painted it blue. The wheels seem to be the same. Hands, the fists, they seem to be the same blue plastic. Yeah, but those are the the obvious differences. Now this figure also comes with the original head sculpt, but the difference that they've done is they didn't paint the eyes yellow, and the red that they used for the face isn't as shiny as the previous one. It's done in a more matte finish. And incidentally, I think the new head sculpt has a narrower face sculpt, which I forgot to mention. This one, I believe, should have the light piping, because the original one, they painted over the eyes, so that kind of defeats the purpose, right? But this one, there's a little bit of blue paint on the eyes, but parts of the eyes seem to be unpainted. Let me just put the light on. There we go. You can see there's a little bit of light piping going on, which is actually pretty cool if you wanted some light piping instead of painted eyes. And if you wanted to see both of them in their alt modes, you can see that off-white color much better in alt mode. It's really different. They've painted the rims or the fenders and the side skirts with a lighter shade of blue, just slightly lighter and more, I think, glossier. Yeah, it's a lighter shade of blue, definitely, and a lot glossier than the first version. And the main difference also is, yeah, the red paint that they used, it's less shinier and a little bit more of a matte finish on top of that bonnet on the hood. The Decepticon logo, again, different. It's got that silver outline and it's placed in a skewed position instead of dead center right here. And that's really reflecting the toy accuracy of this new variant. And if you remember in the cartoons, the Decepticon faction symbol is right there, dead center. And then the G1 toy had that Decepticon logo skewed to the left with a brighter, more orangey type of red. Some final thoughts on this variant of Legacy Evolution Breakdown. Well, it's a cool redeco. I think it's mostly for the completists. If you want another breakdown to reflect toy accuracy colors, toy accurate colors, sure. Is it a better version? I don't know. I'm kind of partial to the cartoon accurate version because I want my figures to look like how they were in the cartoon, because that's what I watched when I was a kid, and I want them to come to life. And so, accuracy to the cartoon render is kind of my preference. But I'll have to admit, this particular toy accurate version is actually pretty well done. You get 2 head sculpts, you get more paint apps, more tampos, and yeah, it has a little bit of that nostalgic vibe because it looks like the toy you had when you were a kid. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that yellowing white, that off-white color plastic. I do prefer the bone white color. So I'll have to say I like them both equally. I don't think one is better over the other. I think this is just something for the completists. Anyway, let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this variant version of the Transformers Legacy Evolution Stunticon Breakdown. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.